If you are newer to Fallout 76, or if you just have a problem with cash flow or cap flow, this video is definitely going to be for you because I'm going to be going over 11 easy tips to max out your caps fast. The easiest way to get caps is to max out your daily caps. In case you don't know what that is, you can earn 1,400 caps a day from any NPC vendor, and this resets every day at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tip number 1, sell weapons and armor. Now this is easier said than done, as when you first start playing you know very few locations. Fighting harder enemies cannot be worth it, and carrying a bunch of weapons can be daunting as your carry weight can be low and weapons and armor are heavy. So how do you get around that? I have a couple suggestions. The first being start the event collision course. This is over in the forest region. You just want to tag as many enemies as possible if you're with a group of people. If not, kill everything and then loot all their bodies. Hobble back over to the Morgantown train station and sell everything back to the vendor. But wait! Don't do it quite yet. Before you sell anything, if you have access to any way at all to increase your charisma, whether you're switching your class to a build that has a higher charisma, or maybe you decide to take some food or chem buffs like a birthday cake slice or grape mentats, you can choose to do all of these or none of these, but if you get your charisma up high enough, it will actually increase the amount of money that you get for every item sold, and it also decreases the prices at these NPC vendors as well. The other thing that can help increase the amount of caps you get for these guns and armor pieces is if you run with a build that has a higher luck, and this has to be a high luck when you're actually killing your enemies. Now, it does sound kind of weird, but so the higher the luck, the more money you can get for those weapons and armor because the condition bar is higher when they drop from enemies. The last perk card that you may want to consider equipping that is under charisma is Hard Bargain. This goes all the way up to 3 stars, and at 3 stars it says buying and selling prices at non-player vendors are now much better. Doesn't really tell you how much better, but it does give you more caps when you're selling things, and things cost less when you're buying things. This card does become obsolete if your charisma is above 25 when you go to sell items or buy items. So make sure to check that. If you don't have food buffs or you're missing some charisma, this may be the card for you. Now, why collision course? I say this event because it's situated very closely to a train station and the enemies are scorched, which is easier to kill when you first are starting out. You can also kill all the scorched in the area, including the airport, and do the same thing, basically. Just loot the bodies. The next event I would suggest you do this with is Uranium Fever. The mole miners drop tons of loot. Most of it is extremely heavy, but you are right outside of White Springs Station. If you're looking to try to get armor or weapon mods for your character, then this may not be the solution for you. Just letting you know, breaking them down will get you a lot of scrap, and it'll also get you a lot of mods. Tip number 2, attend the event Moonshine Jamboree. As long as there are plenty of players at the event. If there's not any players and you're the only one and you're lower level, don't bother. It won't be worth your time or your efforts. But if it's mutated and there's a bunch of people, or there's just a bunch of people in your server participating in events, this event can be very, very lucrative. But let's go over a couple things. So this event is for higher levels, but you can get a ton of XP and caps from this event. The biggest thing I can tell you is to tag anything that moves. That means you don't need to actually kill anything. Just shoot it a couple times with a bullet and get a little bit of damage on it. If you have bullets instead of a melee weapon, you can tag more enemies and you can tag them faster. Make sure that you're on a team when you join the event. This way you can loot more bodies. At the end of the event, go around and perform loot all in several different locations to make sure you don't leave anything behind. Then waddle up to Berkeley Station because it's right up the hill, and be on the lookout for a tent, unless you already have your own tent. If you can equip Super Duper under luck, I would do so now, as you're going to cook all those gulper innards into Gulpert Slurry. And I would only cook 60 to 80 or so at a time, so you don't miss out on any of the XP that you'll be gaining from doing this. And then you're going to take all that slurry and you're going to go to the train station. There's also 30 Molotov cocktails that can be looted from the event as well in different containers. So this is a great way to get XP and a great way to get caps. I max out my caps all the time with Gulper Slurry. Of course, if you equip Butcher's Bounty before you start the event, you'll get even more meat, which means that you'll get even more XP and more caps. Tip number 3, Build a camp near water and set up as many purifiers as you can. The bigger the purifier, the more water it holds. So if you have charisma high enough, you can actually get 5 caps for every bottle of water. A lot of us start out with this method. Water bottles are great ways to max out your caps. They are super heavy. However, if you equip the perk card through Hiker, you will be able to actually reduce the weight of all food that you carry. And also, you could reduce it by having what is called FDC armor. It's the third Star Wars food, drugs, and chem reduction weight. If you have the vintage water cooler plan or know somebody that does, you can put those up in your camp and use those instead, but they do only hold 2 water. But you can make a whole bunch of them. So just make sure you max out that charisma so we can get 5 caps apiece. Most players are probably only getting 3 caps apiece for water bottles. Tip number 4, there are 2 perk cards that you can actually equip to help you out when getting caps, and that is Cap Collector under Luck. As you can see here, you'll be getting 100% more bottle caps in all cap stashes if you get it up to a 3-star. Even having it at 1-star will get you more caps. And then on top of that, you should go over to Perception and equip Fortune Finder. You will hear a cap sound. It sounds like bottle caps clanking together anytime you get close to a cap stash. Then go looking for cap stashes. Number 5, join a team every time you load in, because if any of your teammates complete a quest, you get free caps. It might only be 10 or 100 caps, but it's still free caps. Number 6, set up a camp vendor. The easiest things to sell when you're just starting out is ammo for 1 cap. I would stay away from nukes, missiles, and cannonballs as they weigh a ton and are more likely just to sit in there and take up stash space than to actually earn you caps. Next item is plans, mods, and scrap. If you go to any train station, always check for chainsaw flamer mods. You can buy them for cheap and put them in your vendor for 200 to 250 caps. If you want to know more about vendors, click on this video to find out more. It will tell you a bunch of fantastic locations to actually place your camps. That way you'll sell more items. It will, of course, be listed in the description below. Number 7, attend Test Your Metal. If you complete all tasks, you can get a load of caps. Again, you should only go there if there's a bunch of higher level players, because this event is for higher level players. So if there's a bunch of people, go in there and make sure that you complete all the tasks and you'll get a lot of caps. Number 8, whenever there's mutated events, attend the mutated events. You can get serums from the events. If your charisma is high enough, you can actually sell them for 500 caps apiece to NPC vendors. Number 9, complete easy daily quests. Some of these quests only take a couple seconds for you to complete, especially after you get used to doing them. And it's free caps and it's super easy to get, so why not take advantage of it? If you're unsure what daily quests are, or if you're just unsure which ones don't take a whole lot of time, make sure to check out this guide that will be listed in the description below. Number 10, vendor hop to teammates' camps for free, because you get free fast travel. And if you find CERN plans for under 350 caps and you are able to sell the other CERN plans for 500 caps, you can take those 350 CERN plans and make 150 caps off of them. Don't be greedy though and buy up a whole bunch of super cheap ones, because they're trying to help out a lot of players, so just don't take advantage. But if you want to flip a couple, go right ahead. Number 11, the final tip. Participate in limited time events and sell new plans. When new plans come out, people will pay a ridiculous amount of caps for them. It's FOMO at its best. And if you ever have questions or you're unsure which plans are new for the event that year, make sure to subscribe and keep up with all the videos I put out on all the events. One of the most recent limited time events that we had that fetched a lot of money for new items was Fajnot. People were selling those new masks for 1,000 to 5,000 caps. I'm not talking about the glowing ones. I'm talking about just the Scorch Beast Queen, just the Scorch Beast, the Wolf, all that stuff. Just the plain ones. When the first couple days, people were getting ridiculous amounts of caps just for having those Fajnot masks in their vending machine. I just released a data mine video showing off new Fajnot masks that should be coming to the event in June/July. So make sure to check that out if you got time. Hopefully this guide has been helpful. And if you guys have any questions, make sure to drop them into the comments below. I love you guys. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to like, share, sub, and huge shout out to my channel members, the Deathclaws. Without you, none of this would be possible. So thank you so much for having my back. You guys make it possible for me to do so much more than I'd ever be able to do on my own. So I truly appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much. Love you. I'll see you in the wasteland.